is helping because he's playing so well. Skip, he's not going along for the ride. Normally when guys get this age, Skip, they get on a team, they go along for a great ride. He won a championship, but he didn't really contribute. Chris Paul is the main reason that they're doing this. He's averaging 25 and 10. Skip, I didn't know he had that many points until I was, scrolling. I looked at, I was like, Chris Paul had 37? Like, damn, when, how?
Yep.
Now the third quarter, Skip, he normally gets it going. And that's been their takeoff for the Suns. Every third quarter, whatever lead they got, they expand upon it. Going into the fourth quarter, they got double-digit leads, and the Nuggets were never able to catch up. Chris Paul, Skip, he was getting his dribble. He goes to his right, and he elevates, and that mid-range was unstoppable. But I guess the analytics guy...
Does he really elevate?
Yeah, he elevates, Skip. I mean, because he jumping, he elevates. I mean, for him.
Like maybe gets 4 inches off the floor?
Nah, he elevates. Chris Paul elevates. I'm like, damn, look at CP3. But the analytics guy is going to say, well, Chris, if you really want to be special, you should do that, go beyond the three-point line. Chris said, no, I'm fine right here. Skip, 14 of 19, 9 of 9. Now, I'm not surprised by the 9 of 9 because he did lead the NBA in free throw percentage.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by that.
No.
But for him to play the way he's playing at his age, Skip, because a lot of people had written him off. Man, he can't. The injuries seem like every time we get to a playoff run, something happens. Chris Paul said, I don't want to hear nothing about no injuries. Because have y'all seen what happened to me in my playoff career? I got a hamstring, I hurt my shoulder, I twisted my ankle. Yep. Something was always going on. So I ain't crying for AD. Yep. I ain't crying for Jamal Murray. I wish them speedy recoveries for the next season, but it's about time my team have some good fortune and everybody else understands what I've been going through when I've been banged up. Yeah. But Skip is helping a lot. Now, he ain't catching magic. Mike Malone is a prisoner of the moment, Skip. Arguably, he's the great. No, he's not. You ain't arguing with nobody. Ain't nobody ever gonna say Chris Paul is better than Magic Johnson. I'm not finna get, and I think he's played unbelievable these playoffs. But there weren't very many playoffs in Magic's career that he didn't play well.
Yep.
Even if you just take Magic his first playoff run, that's enough to keep Magic Johnson in the number one spot, Skip. Because I don't think people realize what he actually did.
Yep.
Played all 5 positions. Now, he can play, Skip, you hear that all the time. Well, he can guard all 5 positions. He can play all 5 positions. I don't need somebody to tell me that Magic could do that because I saw him do it. It was taped delayed, I saw it the next day, but I saw him do that.
Yep.
So for me, Chris, this is greatly enhancing. Now, if you really want to cap it off and possibly get into that top 5 point guard, my top 5 for what it's worth, he capped this off with a championship, Skip, regardless of who he goes through and who might be nicked up. Because 10 years from now, ain't nobody going to remember it. Because people don't remember that Magic hamstring and Byron Scott's hamstring fell off the bone when they lost to the Pistons.
I was there.
Nobody cares, Skip. Nobody 5 years from now is going to remember that the Kansas City Chiefs started 4 backups in the Super Bowl. All they know, the Bucks won.
I don't remember that right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how it works, Skip. You know that's how it works. Nobody cares about injury, who was hurt. All they know is if CP3 and them were to finish this thing off, the way we view him will be completely different.
First of all, Michael Malone is speaking post-game just to keep his job. So he's dismissing his team as they quit, they're soft, and then he says Chris Paul's better than Magic Johnson. So it's like excuse, another excuse. He did coach Chris at New Orleans early on. He was an assistant on those teams.
Right.
So he does have some connection with him, so I appreciate that part of it. I have been hugely impressed with Chris, more than ever impressed with Chris Paul. But all he has done is put himself in position to make a huge statement.
Yes.
Because now he's right where he needs to be with the NBA. He's gotten the NBA's
all
attention.
that's going to be on him.
Yeah, it's all there for you in the conference final and, with any luck for them, in the NBA Finals.
Correct.
Which would be his first.
Yes.
So he has a chance to make his legacy. There's also a chance you would continue to break your legacy if you don't come up huge the way you just did. So let's keep this whole playoffs in some perspective. What happened right on cue in Game 1 against the Lakers at Phoenix? He got hurt.
Yeah.
He always gets hurt. And we're like, well, here we go again.
Yes.
And it was weird because he got some stinger in his shoulder, but you'd think it just came and went.
Right.
But it seemed to linger.
Right. It stayed for a couple of days.
It stayed for a couple of games. And so the first game, he wasn't very good even before the stinger came. And then in game 2, he was pretty pathetic. In game 3, he didn't do much. Finally, in game 4, he came up bigger because it looked like he got
the 48 hours recovery.
Yeah, and plus he started to trust that I'm really okay. I can actually shoot the basketball the way I used to. And he had 18, 3 rebounds, and 9 assists in game 4, which was a big turnaround game for them because they won it after you guys had won back-to-back.
Because that tied the series up.
That tied the series up. And then here he went and had just okay numbers in game 5 and 6. He was 9, 4, and 6, 8, 2, and 12. He did have 12 assists in the closeout game, but not 37 points, right? So there's nothing. So here's what he averaged against your Lakers in 6 games. 9 points, 4 boards, 8 assists.
Right.
Well, that's
ho-hum numbers.
They're ho-hum. They're not
Skip, those are numbers you expect from a 36-year-old.
Okay.
Not 25 and 10, shooting 63% from the field, 6 of 8 from 3, and 22 and 22 from the free throw line.
Okay, and we can attribute much of it to his shoulder or whatever it was, but he shot 39% from the floor in those 6 games.
Right.
And he was 2 of 10 from 3. Okay, well, that's not beyond Magic Johnson kind of numbers.
Stop.
But here he goes. And here comes the Nuggets. And to your point, Michael Malone and staff never could quite figure out how to defend the pick and roll because Ayton would come out and pick for CP3 and get him. He would pick over here so that he could come off with his right hand. Because if you let him go right hand dribble and get to the elbow, that's all he needs to do. If he gets one step on you and gets to the elbow, you're done.
He's going to elevate and shoot it.
He's going to make that shot because he's got that little, it's somewhere between a 15 and 10-foot jump shot.
Yeah.
And it was an extinct shot for point guards. It just is prehistoric. Right. Like nobody even tried to shoot that shot. It just didn't fit. It didn't fit in the analytics because they'd say, well, just pull up and shoot a 3.
Correct.
Right? Well, he's shooting 2-2-2-2, and he's just 2-ing you to death with that little jumper. And he torched them. So look at what started happening in these 4 games against Denver. Game 1, he scores 21. Game 2, 17. Game 3, 27. And Game 4, 37. Right. Well, where did that come from?
With no threes attempted.
No threes attempted. Because he just said, I'm not going to do that anymore.
I don't need a 3. I don't need a 3.
So he averaged 26, 5 boards, and 10 assists. So to your point, 26 and 10 assists in 4 games of a sweep against the Nuggets. Should we blame some of that on the Nuggets? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe because they just didn't defend it. Right. I don't know why.
They have no guards.
Maybe they don't have somebody. Would Jamal Murray have been a better defender?
Jamal Murray would D up.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's an offensive guy.
Yep.
Skip, the only knock on Chris Paul is because you look at his resume in the regular season, it's impeccable. He led the league in assists several times, led the league in steals. He's an all-NBA offensive and defensive player.
His accolades are extreme.
The only thing against him was what? Lack of playoff success.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's having that even at the ripe age of 36.
Okay.
So this is going to go a long way with how once he hang up the shoes, because it looks like you hear reports that he's going to opt out the last year, $44 million, and want another 3 to 4 year deal. Probably going to get it. Probably going to get it, Skip. So when it's all said and done, we're going to look. Because if I'm not mistaken, the last guys that were 36 or older to have 37 points was Karl Malone and Kareem.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
So.
All right. So what do we see in 2018? He and James Harden got to the conference final.
Had Golden State's on the rope.
They had them on the rope. They're up 3 games to 2.
Yep.
And at the end of that 5th game, Chris, right on schedule, pulls his hamstring, and he's done for games 6 and 7. And you know the rest of the story. It got ugly.
Yep.
And that was the game 7 at Oakland, in which the Rockets, featuring James Harden solo, shot 7 of 44 from 3 and missed.
It's 27, 28 straight.
Okay. So that was the end of that deal.
Right.
And that's what Chris was referring to. I thought it was interesting last night, post-game on TNT.
Right.
He says, they wrote me off 2 years ago, and then he quickly switched back to, but this is about us. Well, he needed to just get his little jab in there, and I appreciate it because he deserved to say that. He got written off. He got traded for Russell Westbrook. He got sent to what had become NBA Siberia in my hometown of Oklahoma City because they were just in an all-out rebuild.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So it's Chris Paul and nobody left up there, right?
Right.
And it looks like Sam Presti's going to just hoard a bunch of huge stash.
Yeah, the guy they're looking for right now, he probably the 7th or 8th grade right now.
Is. And they got picks just stacked like a Fort Knox of picks.
Yes.
Okay, but for that year with Chris Paul, they shocked everybody, and Chris bounced back and led them to, was it the 4th seed? They were really good.
Yeah.
They were a decent team,
They were,
right?
yeah.
And So off that, he parlayed that into Phoenix.
Right.
And Phoenix said, hey, wait a second. That's exactly what we need because we have more young talent than even they had young talent.
Right.
So watch us. And he was the missing link. So here he goes. He's got his squad. He's got Book. He's got Ayton. He's got Bridges on as a wing defender and scorer. There's nothing not to like about this.
This is the best situation for CP3, Skip, because guess why? He doesn't have a guy in James Harden that's already credentialed.
Yep.
So you can't come tell me nothing, bro.
Nope. He's the unquestioned leader of this team.
The Clippers, he and Blake was butting head.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't tell me nothing. I'm all-star. I'm a rookie of the year. He goes to the Suns. They just want to make the playoffs.
They do.
Book says, I need to get on the big stage. Everybody keeps saying, no, this guy's spectacular, spectacular, spectacular. Well, how spectacular are you? You can't get your team to the playoffs.
Yep.
Now they're in the playoffs because, remember, Skip, maybe we should have foreshadowed because we saw this in the bubble. We saw them go 8-0 in the bubble. And you're like, okay, but that was the bubble.
Okay, but they did not have Chris, and they didn't have Jay Crowder,
Boom.
another veteran who knows how to do
guy.
it. Yes.
Guy had 5 blocks yesterday.
He had 5 blocks.
He only
He was
took like what he take 3 shots,
Yep.
4 shots. He was 2 or 3 from the 3 or 3 from the free throw line.
Yep.
So he was phenomenal yesterday.
The guy LeBron was clowning in Game 3.
Yeah.
Remember, backing him down, spinning on him.
Skip, this is going to go long. If CP can pull this off, Skip, it changes the narrative of how we view him.
Totally agree. But now you got to pull it off. All you've done so far is you have created the opportunity
Yes.
to show the world just how great you can be
Yep.
when given the chance.
Yes.
Okay, here
Yes.
we go.
I'm excited for Chris Paul. It feels like the stars are aligning for the Suns and CP3.
Let you know how the Lakers are. The Lakers got 2 games off.
He's my guy right now. He's the guy I'm rooting for.
The Lakers got
right
2
now in the
games off him, and we hurt.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going
We
for
just swept them.
CP3.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.